nighttime.
It's really not my responsibility.
What's not your responsibility?
Making sure they eat.
How is that not your responsibility?
Because it's not.
If I make it your responsibility, yes, the hell it is. If I'm sleeping because I got to get up in a couple hours to go to work.
That's just circumstances.
I'm providing the food. Yes, it is. So if I'm sleeping, they're not supposed to eat until I wake up? Be quiet. It's my responsibility to stay awake all day.
You don't have to, but I shouldn't have to.
Yes, you should. You're the only one in here that can.
That's
they cannot.
really what I'm saying.
They cannot feed themselves.
I'm the only one here. I should do it. No.
No. Because you've been in my house. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I promise you, because I'm trying to be as patient as I can. Thank the Lord. Thank you, Father. You've been living in my house for 16 years. You have been provided for 16 years.
By you.
Thank you. So the fact that you think this person has taken very good care of me and provided everything I need for 16 years, now she has smaller children and she has to work.
So you're just supposed to stop when it gets to the smaller children?
No, I don't. How do I stop? So you buy food?
No.
You go to work at night to provide a house for us.
No.
So how am I stopping? I'm just doing it in a different way. A lot of the time when you were little, Kaylani, let's be clear. That's why Kaylani, Dejan, and Devin, that's why Dejan and Kayla are not like you. The reason that you are different than them is because when you were little, there was a man in the house. I was married. There's a different situation when you're married. You got privileges that Dejan and Kayla didn't. That's why they didn't act like you. You had two parents. There was somebody giving you whatever you wanted. He didn't want nobody to spank you. He didn't want nobody to spank Devin. So there was a different dynamic. So now you grew up and became a complete mean person, and it makes me sad. Because the things that I instilled in Dejan and Kayla, you don't exhibit those things.
Are you blaming me for
that? You're choosing it now. See, the Bible says that once you see, we can teach. I was taught all kind of bad stuff. Let's go there. A lot of people are taught bad stuff when they're children. You choose to have the morals that you have, or you choose to be better than what you see. You were treated too good. And in return, you think that you are entitled to things that you're not.
Like what?
Like not feeding your siblings when your mom has.
That's not even entitlement.
It is. Your entitlement is that you think you're supposed to be in your room on your phone and not have to do anything and live for free. No, ma'am. You were provided for. I have paid you in thousands and thousands and thousands of days.
To do what you're supposed to do?
Wait a minute. No. You're missing it. I've already paid you for your time and effort to contribute to this household. What kind of responsible person you gonna be if you don't do any chores? And why the heck?
We're talking about the chores.
Why do you
feeding them is not a chore?
Why do you not want to feed your siblings? It's crazy to me.
I have no problem feeding them.
You do. You're complaining.
It's not my responsibility.
Yes, it is.
Anything to you?
Wait a minute. So is love bringing me my tea in a dirty cup?
I didn't see it.
Why?
Because I was tired.
No, because you didn't care.
No, because
I do plenty of things when I'm tired, but I still. When I start talking, you stop. I do plenty of things when I am tired, but I still do it to the best of my ability. So you being tired is not an excuse to bring a. I'm not. When I'm talking, you're not talking. It's not about you being the same person. As long as you're in my house, you're gonna treat me the way I treat you. You don't have to be the same person as me. I can't not require that of you outside of my household. When you move out, you want to be a complete jerk, that's your choice. But while you're in this house, you would treat people with manners, respect, and love, even if you don't love them, which you made it clear you don't care about me. That's fine. But while you're here, you're going to act like you do if necessary. That means if you make me tea, you should make me because I provide for you very hard. I am not at work right now because you cannot get no sleep because of a riot. So I made a sacrifice to say I'm gonna be home from my job so that she could sleep. That's a sacrifice because I need to be working. You don't have to get it.
I don't.
Everybody else will. It's not about faults, and there's nothing to do with that. I made a sacrifice. It has nothing to do with faults. That's your problem. Only thing you care about is what makes you comfortable and safe. You could care less about the rest of us.
What are you talking about?
Kaylani, you showing it every day. Now, when I just told you, I told you 3 times today that to make sure y'all push down the trash. What was your response?
You told me once.
I told you I said it out loud
That
3
was
times.
yesterday.
Okay, it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, you know what I mean. See, the unnecessary stuff.
No, yesterday.
Why
was
didn't you
Saturday.
guys push the trash down?
Because I forgot.
You didn't forget? Because
Yes, I did.
I said it this morning.
And it's, what time is it? I forgot.
Okay, every time I tell you to do something, you forget?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
I feel like you know this by now.
Okay, you know why people forget things that you tell them?
Why?
Because they don't care.
That's not why.
That is why.
No,
That's
it isn't.
anybody. I just saw something on there where they were talking about, do you
Something
realize?
online?
I'm talking. Where they were talking about, if somebody values you and cares about you, they're going to be listening to you fervently and they're going to remember what you say to them. The reason you do not remember the things that I tell you to do is because you do not care about what I'm saying. You don't respect me. You don't have any manners toward me. So you don't remember what I say to
No,
you.
I don't care about chores.
No, it's not about the chores.
Yes, it is.
Okay, but the problem is you don't care about chores, so you don't care about the sanitation of the house that you live in. That means you're not grateful for it. That's the problem.
Where do you get that from? How do you connect
Excuse me?
Because I don't want to do chores. I don't care about the house that I live in. What?
Huh? So if you care
Who the
about
heck
something,
wants to do chores? And just because you say yourself doesn't mean anything.
it does mean a lot. There's plenty of children that are grateful. See, the reason you're not grateful because everything has been provided for
What child
you.
did you know like doing chores?
There's a bunch of kids in Africa that do chores with
Oh
smiles
my
on their
God.
face. I don't get it.
Bunch of kids. Do I live in Africa?
What does that have to do with you doing your chores and being grateful? You know the difference in me and you is I didn't have a mom
You
to
didn't
take
even
it.
grow up in Africa. I don't even know why you keep saying
But I grew up harder than you. I grew up in.
You appreciated doing chores?
Yeah, I did. Because the Bible even says that people with that lack are more appreciative. The people that go without are more grateful because when they finally get something, they appreciate it, so they want to take care of it because they might not get it again. See, the reason why you're the jerk is because you've always had everything provided for you. Because in my mind, I thought, if I give them a good life, they will never suffer the things that I suffered. But really, I've created a monster.
Because I don't want to.
Oh my goodness. Instead of you thinking about what I just said, you still respond. I literally created a monster. You don't even care about other people's suffering. I had a horrible childhood, but made sure you didn't. And in return, you say you don't like me. It's that you don't respect me because I didn't beat you. That was a conscious choice. I chose not to be a parent that did a bunch of slapping in the mouth. I don't know if I made a mistake. But if you know that, if you're mature enough to know that, then you should be mature enough to be more appreciative of what's provided for you, more appreciative of how hard I worked to get it, more appreciative of all the things that you don't even know that have to be worried about behind closed doors, on how I get money to get food, or what I have to do to keep the lights on, or what I got to do to keep the water on, or the sacrifice I'm making right now. I need to be working, but we have so many things to worry about, Kehlani. I should not have to beg you to contribute to a house that you've lived in for at least this same house you've lived in for 7 years. And I made it happen for you. Everything you guys ever asked for, even if sometimes I can't afford it, I try to make it happen. I'm doing the best that I can with the resources that I have. But for you to know that and still make it hard for me is the problem. How do you not feel bad to give your mom a hard time and she's already having a hard time?
I'm gonna tag the creator. I want y'all to go back and give her hell. Let me get this straight. You got a 16-year-old child and you saying that you feed her and you are providing certain things that she should have that a mother is supposed to do anyway. So in return, she has to watch the other way where children that you have had by a man that is not active in their life. Where the daddies at, bitch?
Thank you. So the fact that you think this person has taken very good care of me and provided everything I need for 16 years, now she has smaller children and she has to work.
So you're just supposed to stop when it gets to the smaller children?
No, I don't. How do I stop? So you buy food?
No.
You go to work at night to provide a house for us.
So because she provides the bare minimum, a roof over her head and food, she is beholden to her for these children that she had by a man that is not involved in these children's life. You pressing this baby, this 16-year-old that should be living her best life. You pressing this child, but where the mother kids' daddies at?
We have so many things to worry about, Kehlani. I should not have to beg you to contribute to a house that you've lived in for at least this same house you've lived in for 7 years. And I made it happen for you.
Did you hear her say, we have so many things to worry about? If she had a son, he'd already be in the penitentiary because he would be knocking people in the head and committing crimes to try and help his mom. She is trying to make her daughter her baby daddy. Do you think that she's pressing either one of these children's dads about what they're not providing while she's pressing his baby? If she had a son, he'd already be in the penitentiary. She is trying to make her daughter her baby's father. Bitch, if you don't get your life together, that child ain't responsible because you keep on letting people pop babies in your ass. Y'all make me sick. If you had a son, he'd already be in the penitentiary for trying to get you money because you sorry. Leave that goddamn girl alone.
So I don't know why you guys will not either listen clearly to the whole thing, or why do people just jump? We're like, you cannot put your ideas of parenting out on somebody else. First of all, I have 10 children and I have 4 adult children, so I waited till Kehlani became 16 and decided now she about to raise my other kids, but all my other kids I raised, that don't make sense. No, that's not what's going on here. I'm talking about me saying, Kehlani, can you make me a cup of tea? And she's saying, I don't want to. Or me saying, hey, the kids, I'm not there, or I'm sleeping, and the kids come to her and say, oh, Kehlani, can you please make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And she's saying, no, go ask somebody else, or no, I can't, even though there's nobody else to ask because she's 16. They're too little. My 10-year-old can make certain stuff, but I'd rather a big kid do it just because of the mess and what might go wrong. If they come and ask you to do something for them that they cannot do for themselves and you refuse, that's abuse. That's even if you're a big sibling. She's not 10. She's 16. She's going to be 17 in January. She's almost 18. That is abuse because she's fully capable of getting up and making noodles, making peanut butter and jelly, helping them brush their teeth or showing them something. That's a part of being responsible, period. Now, as if I'm telling her to do every single thing that I needs to be done in my house, which is not true, because right now I hate foolishness. Right now, this is what my laundry, and it's not, that girl's not working her ass off. Don't misunderstand. It's me asking basic things. Hey, can you do this thing? And naturally, you're supposed to want to be helpful to your household. Your mother has taken care of you your entire life. Your mother has provided. I'm not talking about other mothers. My kids live good. I'm not talking about mothers that are hanging out with men all day long while their kids are doing the chores. Like when they're sleeping, when my kids are sleeping peacefully in their nice rooms. Now, it might be a little messy, but if they have very nice rooms, we're trying to get things organized because I'm trying to move out of this house. But this is my girl's bedroom. I took out all this stuff because we're trying to get the clothes that can't fit. That TV in every room. This is Kehlani's bedroom. Now, if it's messy, she's 16, so she's a teenager. This is her room by herself now. She has a room alone. There's nobody in the room with her. This is her room. Anything that's messy is because that's how she chooses to keep it. Mind you, she got her own little laundry basket. I do my own chores. Look, this is the trash can. This is the simple things I'm talking about. This is a simple thing you going out. She just went to the store to get herself some snacks. She could have taken the trash out with her. This is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about her taking care. My baby right now is in a stroller next to me because for some reason she keeps trying to elope her crib that you can see that she has in the room. She keeps trying to escape out of her crib. So the only thing I could think of is to put her in her car seat in her stroller next to my bed to keep her safe until I can figure out something to keep her from getting out of her crib. If I was making my daughter responsible for my other children, why would she be in my room with me? I've never done that. I've never been that kind of mother. I'm asking her to be basically considerate, being a considerate person. Y'all are saying that as a mother, I'm supposed to work all night long. Literally, I work from 10:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. When I get home from work, I'm supposed to wash the dishes, clean the bathroom, clean the entire house, take care of my baby. When they get out of school, I'm supposed to, most of the time I cook the food before they get here, but they're not going to eat dinner at 4 o'clock. They're going to eat dinner after they change their clothes and do all that stuff. I'm talking about weekends, snacks, stuff like that. Kaylani is fully capable of getting those things for them. Why wouldn't she be? What is her responsibility if she don't do no chores? She's not allowed, she can't make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, top ramen. So what is she required to do? Nothing? I'm supposed to do it all. That makes no sense. So how am I teaching her how to be a responsible adult if she has no chores? Then when she get a job, because I have people that work under, that I have to tell what to do. And most of them are extremely lazy. You know why? Because their mom didn't give them no responsibility. I'm not asking her to scrub my walls and mop my floor. I was abused as a child. I had real chores. My daughter has 2 chores. Do the dishes and make sure the laundry is folded. I wash the laundry. All she got to do is fold it. 2 chores. And she can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She can't make some top ramen or put a Hot Pocket in the microwave. It's not that my little kids probably would try to do it for themselves, but I'd rather not be waking up out of my sleep by my house burning down. It has nothing to do with her. It's just being responsible. Like, I have to sleep in order to take care of my family, to provide for them. I cannot stay up all day and work all night. The fact that y'all suggesting that I do that is crazy. The fact that y'all suggesting that I do everything and my child is supposed to be in her room on her phone and leaves just everything for me to do. How is that rational? You're right, it is not her responsibility, and everybody else who said the same thing, it is not her responsibility to raise my children, and I've never asked her to do so. I'm asking her to do basic chores. I'm asking her to grab a snack and put it in the microwave, you know, to be of assistance, to be helpful. I'm not asking her to raise my kids. I would never do that. I know what it feels like to be in a household where all the responsibility was on me. There has been situations where I was left with newborns and didn't know what the heck I was doing. And I was not 17. I was 10 and 9. So I would never do that to my kids. She says it all the time. The stuff you went through was abuse. And I say, and I don't do that to y'all. And she says, yeah, but in her ideal mind, I would do everything. But that's not realistic. I can't do everything. And I can't let my house just go amok. I don't know. We're not just talking about, we're talking about throwing a Hot Pocket in the microwave. We're talking about putting a corn dog in the microwave, making top ramen, peanut butter. I mean, they can make their own peanut butter and jelly. But if they make a big mess, it's okay for her to wipe off the counter. So what happens is I go to sleep, get ready for work. When I get up for work, my house is tore up. I got to hurry up and try to straighten it up before I leave. Then I go to work. When I come home, there's dishes in the sink. There's, the trash is overflowed. It shouldn't be like that. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't see how it would be possible. I don't know how it would be possible for me to work every night and come home and do everything by myself without her help. I would just be satisfied if she cleaned up after herself. When you use the bathroom, I don't find your clothes on my floor in the bathroom. If I say run the water for the kids, that she actually runs the water, and then I come in there and do whatever I need to do. It's not just 1 or 2 girls, it's 3 of them. So if I say, hey, I'm going to do this kid, you help me with this kid, then we can all get it done fast. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just do it myself. And it would be nice if she volunteered and said, hey, Mom, you need my help. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying, I don't know. Maybe people just want to assume every woman, especially black woman, is not lazy. I'm nowhere lazy. I would never just lay around all day and make my kids take care of themselves. No, it's not what's going on. That's not even close to what's going on. It's just getting a little overwhelming because I am working and I'm trying to keep my house in order, and it would be nice And even if she didn't agree, like she's like, Mom, I don't want to help with this, I don't want to help with that. I don't approve of the disrespect. You cannot agree with me and say it in a more respectful manner. Mom, I'm tired, or it's overwhelming, or whatever she's feeling. It's the disrespect, the idea of, yes, I'm supposed to pour into her and make sure she's good. I'm supposed to pour into all the other kids, but she shouldn't have to pour into anybody. That's not even godly, more or less how you would want anybody to think. So what kind of adult would she be? She would be an adult that if she had a husband or a mate, she would want her mate to do everything and she don't have to do anything. Or if she had a friend, her friend would be doing for her and she don't have to do nothing to appease her friend. So her friend, matter of fact, I had this conversation with my oldest daughter. Her friend was buying her all this stuff, and I gave her money for something, and I said, now when you get your money, you better go and buy Malaysia something, because every time I turn around, she's buying you something. And she's like, okay, Mom. I said, yeah, you don't ever want to be that person that just take. You want to be the person that also gives. And my kids have been taught that from day one. Sometimes I have to remind them, and that's okay. But no, I don't want her to just take from me. That don't seem right to me. Maybe I'm wrong. So everybody's supposed to just take. Even to your children, teenage children. So if I'm emptying out, I tell my kids all the time, my cup is being emptied. I'm pouring into you and you and you and you. So who pours into me? No one? They just are supposed to take from me? Even my kids, because they're my kids. I must got it all wrong, I guess.
Miserably easy. We are not done yet. There is one final.
My issue was really not the I don't want to cook for your kids, because she's a cook. It'd mostly be warming up stuff I've already made or making top ramen or peanut butter. And those are in the days that I'm too tired to do it. But I'm talking about the way she reacted to me asking her to make me a cup of tea. I'm talking about the attitude of, why should I have to help you? What? Why don't you want to? Everything you've ever asked me for, I've given it to you. It's just it's some kind of sense of entitlement, of spoiled, like, my mom has always made it easy, so now that she's requiring something of me, she's asking too much. But most of her life, she didn't do chores. That just started recently. And even then, the chores I ask are not getting done. That's what I'm saying. So if I'm up going to work, I come home and do all the chores. The least you can do is make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Or make some top ramen. Be of service. I don't understand, like, I believe that God requires us to love our neighbor and to appreciate them and show them love. So love is not words, it's action. So if I say I love you and I care about you, then I'm not going to want you to suffer, even if you're my mom. Moms have feelings. Moms get tired. Moms get overwhelmed just like our children do. And most of my kids don't get to see those parts of me because I'm very careful about that kind of stuff. But her assisting me shouldn't be a problem. I can't even imagine that. I can't imagine telling any one of my foster mothers that took me in after my birth mom decided she didn't want me, telling them, no, I'm even at work. When I'm at work, there's nothing they ask me to do that I don't do it. I've never ever complained. I can't imagine them saying, go do this, and I'm like, that's not in my job description. We're a team. My daughter is about to be 17 years old. If at 17 you can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for your smaller children, siblings around you who look up to you, and most of the time they're only asking her because they're being considerate of the fact that their mom is sleeping. It's never like, oh, we ask Kehlani every time we need something. Mm-mm. Most of the time they're scared to ask her for anything because even when she should help, she doesn't want to. I always ask my daughter, how come you don't ask Kehlani to help you? She says, because she's going to yell at me. That's how it really is. It's not like she's doing all this stuff and then now she's overwhelmed from doing all this stuff. No, she wants to do nothing. She wants to lay in her room, on her phone, on TikTok, and all them games or whatever she's doing in her room. And she wants me to do everything, and then she wants me to pay for everything, including the cell phone. And she wants me to cook. And then after I cook, I'm supposed to clean all the dishes. And then I sleep for 3 hours. Then I get up at 10:30, go to work, come back at 7 and do it all over again. She wants me to stay up and do her hair. She wants me to buy these shoes and that shoes and this outfit and that outfit. So really, I'm giving. And I'm not supposed to teach her to give back. I'm so confused. Like, even as a child, you should want to love on your parent. I love on my, like, I'm on it. But lately I've been tired. And I'm allowed to be tired. Man, you people can hurt somebody's feelings, boy. I'm serious, man. I don't understand it. I can't imagine talking to people the way y'all talk to me. But I guess that's how it is now. Like, the world is selfish and mean. And I don't want my baby to be lazy. I've seen what it looks like when these young girls are lazy. Some of them work under me. And I ask them to do simple things and they complain. So I end up having to go do it. And I ain't getting paid more for that. I see it all the time, every day at work. I don't want my baby to be like that. I don't want her to go against authority in every way. Expect things for free. Not want to have no responsibility at all. Things handed to you. In what world are things handed to us anyway? It don't work like that. Nothing is handed to us. We have to work for it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to be Superwoman and be Superwoman and be Superwoman until I get old and wrinkly. I guess. Who knows? To me, the part that, I don't know, it's almost like if you guys see all negative comments, then you guys comment negative. If you see positive comments, then you guys comment positive. I'm totally confused. But if the sad part for me is like, if y'all really knew me and my household and my kids and how we work around or whatever, the stuff you guys are saying, you wouldn't be saying it. Why does it matter how many kids I have as long as I'm taking care of them? The misconception that one day me asking her to help me with something and she got angry and disrespectful, it wasn't even that she was saying no, it was how she was saying no that upset me. Because even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I'm still your mother and you still have to be respectful. That was the issue. It was never. And so then, of course, I responded angrily, and me and her have already had a conversation about it. I responded angrily because my feelings were hurt. Because I felt like, why are you being disrespectful? I only asked you to do this. It's been times where I've stayed up and I had braided her hair, and right after I asked her to go do something and she's like, oh no, I'm tired. It's like, I just stand up for 8 hours braiding your hair. I get off at 7 a.m. that Saturday. I took my shower, did everything I needed to do, and I braided her hair. I was done, I don't know, maybe 6 p.m. And I still had to be to work at 10:30 that same night. And I don't remember what I asked her to do, but whatever it was, she gave me attitude. Those are the examples of what I'm talking about. It's just being appreciative of the things that I'm doing. No, I'm obligated to give her food and water and take care of her. Of course I am. That's my responsibility, and I love doing it. Like, I love being a mom. Like I said in the last video, it's the one thing I know that I'm good at. the stuff you guys are talking about has nothing to do with what we were saying. Like, some of y'all are saying, oh my gosh, because I have 10 kids, that means what does that mean? Some of my kids came about because people violated me sexually, and I chose to keep my children. Several times. 3 of my children are a product of that. One of my children, my son, died in 2019. I said I birthed 10 children. That doesn't mean there's 10 children in my house. There's circumstances. But instead of trying to get to know the full situation, you just start saying horrible, mean things about my kids. It's like, wait, what? How does that even connect it to me saying? All I'm saying is I think that as parents, we should encourage our children to be kind and nice and appreciate what we have. It's no different than those, I don't know, I guess you have to see it to really understand. Like, if people were in the house with me just for 24 hours and see all that I do and then see how she responds when I ask her to do something, they would. I mean, I've had people, that's why I don't allow people to come around anymore, because they say that little girl is too damn disrespectful. These are people that've been in my house, that come around me, that is interacting with me. We're not talking about me. I'm not even close, even remotely lazy. Like, I'm not that kind of mom. I never been. I grew up in a situation where, I don't know, everything was in order. So that's just how I like things. In order for me to keep it that way, I have to keep it that way. My daughter wouldn't even be able to keep my house in the order that I want it to be in. I only asked her to wash dishes and, take out the trash. And that day I asked them to go and push the dumpsters down. I'm 44 years old. I ain't no skinny girl. I cannot climb in a dumpster. Like, even if I wanted to, what I would have did they say, well, what if she wasn't there? I would have went and asked a neighbor. Like, it's just simple thing. But she is here. So, of course, if she's standing right in front of me, I'm going to say, hey, can you and your brother go out there? You help him get in the dumpster, push the trash down, and that's that. Like, these are simple things. And it wasn't that, because she never said she wouldn't do it. That wasn't the problem. I needed it to be done the night before. Because on the day we get up, when they get up and get ready for school, we're doing too much moving around. Everybody's running around trying to get organized and get their hair in order and brushing their teeth and doing all that. Nobody wants to have to stop and push trash down. So I wanted to do it the night before. But don't misunderstand. To me, it's crazy how the internet works. Like, y'all see one video, one clip, and now you determine what kind of mother I am, what kind of mother I've been for 25 years. I have grown children who are very happy, who were very happy in my household. That was just a special circumstance, that specific day that we were having a conversation about being helpful. And it don't have to be making a sandwich. That was the example that we had used that day in the conversation. I'm saying, well, if I say go make them a sandwich, she said, well, that wouldn't be my responsibility. Those were examples. I wasn't saying that I'm always asking her to make sandwiches. What would you assume that? From one video, I'm all of a sudden a horrible mother. And at first, every comment was hurting my feelings, and I told myself I was going to just take the video down. But the fact of the matter, there's somebody that could see these videos and see my videos and see the comments and realize, like, it's okay to require your children to be responsible. It's okay to require your children to be kind. Because that was my problem. My issue is not. It's not that she didn't want to make a sandwich. My issue was that it's not very nice. I don't want my kids to be. Think about all these people on the internet or how mean and angry y'all are. How y'all automatically go to negative. One day my baby is going to be out in the world by herself. I'm not going to be there to protect her. And I want her to be able to just be a good person, be a blessing in somebody's life. I don't know what the heck. Like, some of the stuff that y'all say, somebody called me a breeder, and like, y'all say horrible things. You don't know how my kids came about. Why would you assume? And I was married for 12 years, let's be clear. So if I'm married, I'm allowed to have as many children. I don't understand, y'all. Like, why would you assume? I'm single by choice. And as a matter of fact, I left my husband. We've been separated for years. But the reason that he's not allowed around me and my children is because he came on to my daughter, or made a very inappropriate sexual comment to my daughter a couple weeks ago. As a matter of fact, the video was on here. So I decided to have no contact. even though we were separated, he was helpful like, with certain things like Christmases and, transportation and, stuff like that. Oh, can you go pick up this for me because I'm at work? I work overnight, let's be clear. So clearly everybody in my house is sleeping when I leave the house. I have cameras in every room. Let's be clear about that also. There's cameras in every room. There's cameras in my room that faces the back door. There's cameras in my living room. There's cameras in my hallway. So it's not, the reason I chose to work overnight was because I thought in my mind, I wanted to be as less complicated as possible. If I tried to work in the daytime, then I would have to get daycare for my baby. Even though she's 3, I'm just not comfortable. I feel like a child should be able to speak, be able to tell you if somebody hurts them. So I'm not comfortable putting her in daycare. And not to mention daycare is extremely expensive. But so I had my reasons. I want to be home with her. I want to be up with her and around her in the daytime. So by the time the kids get out of school, then it's, we start all that process. Most of the time, if I can or if I feel like it or whatever, I'll cook before they even get here, or I'll cook as soon as they get here. And it's a matter of the food is on the stove. After you guys done shower and doing what you got to do, get their plates. If I don't make the plates myself, we're not talking about, like, I would never, the funny part is, because of how I was abused and treated as a child, most of the things that you guys are accusing me of, I would never do. That was just one specific conversation. And the only reason I shared it was because I felt like, my goodness, if I'm having these conversations with my children, I wonder if there's other people having these conversations with theirs. Like, I work at the hospital, and there are girls that I have to say, hey, go do this, go do that, and go do this. And most of them complain so much. Like, I've been working there for almost 2 years, and they can never, even when I was doing the job that they're doing now, before I got the job I'm doing, I never complained. I never once said, like, I can't remember a time where they were like, can you go do such and such? And they're like, why you can't ask somebody else to go do it? I just don't want my child to grow up and be like that. Like, I don't want her to be so entitled and selfish and rude and don't have the right kind of work ethic to where if somebody asks her to do something, she's like, oh, that's not in my job description, or I'm above all that, or that's not my responsibility. When it's some things, it's just kind. There's so many things I do at work that is not my responsibility. There's things that I do, on the regular, in my regular life for other people when they, there's things that people have needed from me that was not my responsibility. They're not my children or my family member, because as you know, I don't have any family. But because it was just the right thing to do. Like, I want her to be a good person. And like the idea that she should just lay around and be on her phone while I do everything just doesn't feel right to me. Just because y'all keep trying to make it sound like I just lay around and let her. No, that's never happened. Y'all trying to paint a picture of me that's not what it is. It's never been that. None of my kids, I have grown children, they'll tell you, it's never been that. I never made my other children their responsibility. I'm talking about helping as just being kind, like small helping around the house. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know what God about to do for me. But one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm going to faith around and find out. And that's on God.
I chose to post what was going on with me and my daughter online, and that was my decision. I think I just needed... See, y'all got to understand, it's different. It's a different dynamic when you spend your entire life alone. It's only ever been me, and then I started having children, and that gave me purpose. And I don't know where y'all get this narrative that I'm laying around while my kid... That is not what happened. That is not even close to what happened. That's not even close to what's happening. She was being manipulative because she knew I was recording her. No, she's not always cleaning. She's never, like, literally, I have to say, Kaylani, why are there dishes in the sink? I have to say, Kaylani, why is it... Right now, the 2 baskets that were there this morning are still there. It's almost 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning the very next day. She didn't even go to school yesterday. And all those clothes are still in the basket in my room, unfolded. I washed the dishes. I mopped the floor while she slept in my bed with my baby. I washed the dishes. I mopped the floor. I cleaned the counters. I put the rest of the clothes in the laundry. I mean, these things are things she can help with. I don't understand why it's a problem. Like, if that's the case, what the hell? Like, ideally, y'all just want me to work myself to early grade. Like, no wonder black women have high blood pressure. We're expected to do all these things that other races get sympathy. But me as a single mother, I'm being attacked. It's crazy. Why do you guys not care that it's overwhelming and that I'm tired? Not one person said, not one. Like, I'm amazed by that, because I would never. Not one person asked if I was all right. Not one person said, you're doing a good job. A few people said, keep up the good work. Don't listen to those people. But most of it was attacks and comments that made no sense, because I'm not that parent. Like, I'd rather you ask me than assume. Her response to me, by the time I did the video, I was already upset. She was already upset, because it hurt my feelings when I'm exhausted. You hear me? And when I said, you know how many cups of tea I made for her? You know how many times I have stayed up all night because she's sick? She said, well, Mom, I don't get sick that much anymore. But when you did, you can never think back and say, my mom wasn't there. My mom didn't keep coming and checking on me. Like, she didn't, I'm that parent. Like, I made a conscious effort that every abuse, every neglect, everything that I ever felt that hurt me, I don't do it to my kids. My foster mother required me to do all the chores, so my kids are not required to do all the chores. Most of the people would hurt me physically, so I don't spank my kids, because that's what was done to me, and it made me feel horrible. So I made a choice that I don't spank my kids. I mean, there's been instances, teenagers, it's a whole nother ball game when it comes to teenagers. Sometimes they take you out your character, but for the most part, none of my kids get spankings, because I was abused in that era. If I can make my kids food and they don't like it, I don't force them to eat it. I had a foster mother that, when I wasn't a big meat eater, and she made me eat the food, and I got sick from it, and she made me eat my throw up. See, I went through things that I would never expose my children to. So because of all the abuse and the neglect and the hatred that was put on me as a child, I'm very careful about how I treat my children. So to be attacked for my parenting, the one thing I know that I'm good at, like, if I'm not good at nothing else, I'm not the most beautiful thing in the world. My teeth are a mess. I'm dark skinned, and that's, to most people, is not very attractive. I'm very intelligent, so I can't say I'm not the smartest thing, but I'm intelligent. But I'm not the best at so many things. But I know that I'm good at being a mother. I know that I love my kids properly. I know that I listen to them. I know we've had conversations. All of my girls, my daughter is 20 years old almost. She left my house a virgin because we talked about it. We had conversations. These are the things that happened to me. It's best if you wait. I encourage her, and I encourage her, my daughter, all my kids. My son left my house just a month ago. He left my house a virgin. So I know I'm doing something right. Don't don't misunderstand. Yes, I do believe that it's my job to raise my kids to be attentive. When my son was 4 years old, now, I never had no parents, but I knew how I wanted my son to treat people. He was 4 years old. He can barely open the door, but I used to say, Dejan, whenever a woman comes by, you hold the door for her. Open that door for her. He could barely push the door. He was so small. He was so small. My son is autistic, but to this day, if he sees any woman, he will run. Like, it's amazing to watch, because I remember when he was very little, and I said, hold that door for her. Strangers, go hold that door for her. He can barely hold it. I would have to sometimes hold it with him. But now, even in his disability, he remembers that. So now he'll run to the door to open it for other people. Every time I see it, it makes me happy, because I always think, I remember teaching him that. I remember teaching him that to be good, to be nice, to be gentle. And for whatever reason, it's easier to instill certain, traits into kids with autism, because they are receiving it. He has still a mind of a child. So it's much easier for me to teach him to be kind, and it wasn't hard. But my daughter, she's very intelligent. She really believes that she knows more than even her teachers. She's been kicked out of school for telling her teachers what to do. So if you think you know everything, then that means, if you already think you know everything, anything anybody else says is going to seem wrong. But the problem with her is not about the chores. It's not about helping with her sisters. It's about personality. I do not want her to have the personality of a mean girl, of a selfish, mean girl. I do not want her to grow up and not have compassion for other people, consideration, because I'm just her mom. And yes, because I'm her mom, I guess she's not required to help me, but I want her to have the attitude of service when it comes to one day she's going to be at a job. When I'm at my job, people come to me. I've had people, I want her to be the person. I was the person that, even though I don't talk to people for years and they haven't heard from me, but if they had a traumatic experience, they'll have the police bring them to my house. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've had people like, you know, this and this is going on. They call me. Like, I haven't talked to them in months, but they knew they could call me. And I remember having this conversation with my ex. He's like, she just called because you needed something. I said, I see it differently. I said, I see it like she called me because she knew I would be there for her. That's a compliment. That's not an insult. That makes me feel good inside. And I want my daughter to be somebody that people trust, that they feel safe with, that they want to confide in. There could be some girl, and when she goes to college, that is being hurt. I want that girl to say, this person, I can trust her, and I can tell her what's going on with me, and she might help me. I don't want my child to be so evil and mean and selfish that she's oblivious to whatever's going on with anybody else. There's too many of y'all like that on TikTok. Most of y'all do not care about anything going on with the next person. You only care about yourselves. There's people out there that are really suffering and y'all don't even notice because all you care about is the BBLs and the chains and the money and the nails and the makeup and the making your kids look like little thugs. And it's just, you care about all the things that don't matter. When you stand before Jesus and he says, what did you do with your life? He's not going to ask how much money you got. He's not going to ask how big your chain is. He's going to want to see what you've done to contribute to the world. Like how you benefited someone. Have you helped anybody? And I'm not talking about donating to a shelter of people that you never speak to. I'm not talking about that homeless man you give $1 to and you never think about him again. There's times that I remember being at work years ago and a lady came in there. You could tell she was very sick, and I remember going in the bathroom and just praying for her. Like, I could tell she was suffering. I could tell she was hurting, and I felt it in my spirit. I needed to go and pray for her, and I did. I mean, I prayed for that lady with all my might. I never saw that lady again in life, but I knew she needed it. Caring about other people. There's been times that I have seen coworkers struggling. I remember God telling me to take a gift to one of these managers at Burger King. And you know I did it. I came and I brought her the gift, a balloon, and it was a candle, and I think I got her candy and whatever. And I took it to her job. She wouldn't happen to not be there the next day because they were being so mean to that lady. And the next day she wasn't there, but when I got to work, I left my cell phone number. I said, if you ever need to talk, you can call me. And the next day, she called me at my job. I didn't give her my cell phone number. I think I gave her the work number. And I remember my other coworkers was so excited. So not only did it affect the person that I blessed with the gift, but it affected my other coworkers seeing me do what I did. But I had not listened to God. The lady said on the phone, she said, that was the worst, I think one of my worst days at work. She said, you don't understand how good you made me feel. And I said, I just was trying to, I don't know, God told me to bless you, and I'm so grateful that you feel better today, and you were doing a great job. I'm so sorry how those people was talking to you and treating you. I can't watch people suffer. How can I be this person and then teach my child to be anything other than that? I posted a video because I was feeling some type of way about how upset she was that I wanted her to help with chores and stuff like that. So it just made me like, I can't be the only parent going through this. Like, I can't be like figuring out how to balance teaching your kids to be responsible, See, because for me, it matters if my daughter is selfish. I am 44 years old, and I know in this day and age, most people are just selfish. Like, when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. You know, when I was younger, even though I was abused and I was neglected, people were just nicer, more wholesome, decent people. And that's what I want for my daughter. So the only way to example her of how to show appreciation at 16 is you would show appreciation for people that are there for you right now. The person that's there for her is me. So y'all are suggesting that my child be disrespectful, non-loving, because to appreciate all I do for her is a part of expressing love. Love is not words, it's action. So to me, teach my 16-year-old daughter to express love would be teaching her to feel gratitude for what somebody's doing for her. And my oldest son is 25 years old. In 25 years, I don't have parents. I don't have family members. I don't have cousins. Nobody has ever taken my kids outside of my household. They've never babysat for me. I've never went on vacations. I don't go to the club. Since I had my first child, I've always just been a mom. No, that doesn't take away from anything about her being a teenager. Yes, she should show gratitude for somebody, because some people didn't get what she's getting. I didn't get half, not even a quarter of what my daughters get. They are treated so good. And yes, I want them to be grateful because I work hard to make sure they had a good life. It's amazing to me that most of you think that I'm supposed to be fully responsible financially, work every night. I'm supposed to make them feel loved and comforted, meaning hugging them and kissing them and spending time with them. I'm responsible to keep the house clean. I'm responsible to keep their clothes clean. I'm responsible to make sure they get to appointments, make sure the refrigerator's full. I'm to cook the meals. I am to provide her a cell phone, guitar, ukulele, all the new shoes that she wants, because it's different. The kids, so y'all gotta understand, my little kids are not asking for $200 shoes. My teenager is. My little kids have cell phones that only work on the Wi-Fi. There's no bill. My teenager has a cell phone that costs me $90 a month. It's just different to say, yes, this woman is supposed to do all these wonderful things for you and make sure that you have a wonderful life. And in return, all she's responsible for is to eat, sleep comfortably, watch TV in her room comfortably, be on her cell phone comfortably, shower, all her clothes are washed for her, everything provided for her, and she just that's all she's required to do is to take from me. What kind of adult would she become if her only requirement is to take from her own mother that gave? Not only did I give her a decent life compared to what I had, but I gave her life. I would give anything to have had what she has. And believe me, if my mother, if I had one, had asked me to make her a cup of tea, I would be so glad to. If my mother had said, hey, can you real quick make them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, there would be no argument. Because I would be so grateful to have a mother that's even there for me to even ask me to do anything. I just don't get it. Like, why would it be okay for her to take from someone, it don't matter who it is, and not show any gratitude for what she's receiving? What kind of person is she? What kind of personality is that? What kind of characteristic am I agreeing with? I'm agreeing with her being selfish and lazy and abusive? No. I'm requiring my household, as for me and my home, they're going to operate the way that I believe God intends for us to operate. And that's in kindness and respect and manners. That means every time I cook for my kids, I lay their plates out on the table and I serve them. I pour their drinks for them. And she's 17. I pour her drink for her. She doesn't make her own plate. I hand her plate. Because I'm serving her. I'm her mother. I want her to feel served and loved. And I deserve to get the same respect and honor back. I am a good mother. I should be acknowledged. I don't know what it is. Now, if I was a white woman, it'd be a different thing. Because I'm a black woman, I'm supposed to just grin and bear it. So then those women, Lord, I thank you for the revelation. So all those women that are taking care of their kids and doing the best for their kids, and there's people out there telling them everything they're doing wrong, and then those women go and put their kids and throw them over bridges and put their kids in the car and drive over bridges with them, and those women that, you know, take out their whole family. I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago, I watched that video. I was living in Florida then, of that woman. She took out all the teenagers. And at that time, I had no teenagers. All my kids were very small. And I remember like crying for her, and my heart hurt for her, because even though everybody was bashing her, I can't imagine what kind of pain and neglect and struggle you had to go to, abuse you had to be going through to feel like you want to just forget it. I'm taking y'all all out. What were they doing and saying to that mother? Yes, no, she should not have done that. I'm not agreeing with her behavior, so please, y'all have attacked me enough. I'm not agreeing with her behavior, but I can imagine. See, most of the time, and that's the problem, black women are ignored. We are neglected and we're bullied on a regular. This is real. All the comments that y'all are leaving is real. That's how y'all really feel. Nobody once said, Mama, are you okay? Nobody once said any word of encouragement. Nobody can imagine. I'm responsible to keep the lights on, keep the water on. I have to keep my job. I have to make sure everybody's happy and satisfied, when in real life, I am miserable. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm lonely because I'm choosing to be mother and not anything else. And in return, I can't require my child to be of any kind of assistance at all. Like, in order for me to ask her for help, then that means I'm doing something wrong. That is crazy to me. In your minds, I'm never supposed to sleep. I'm never supposed to take showers or do my hair or anything. How am I going to have time to ever do anything for myself if I'm doing everything? And because I had children and the dads were not responsible adults, I should suffer and be punished? I chose life when I could have chose death for all of them. Then I shouldn't be punished for that. A lot of my children are here because of trauma, because of being sexually abused. People raped me. And there was babies come from those rapes. I happen to be a fertile person, and yes, babies come from it. So I chose life. I chose to keep my children no matter what those horrible men did to me. And no, none of that is my fault. So I'm choosing to raise my children. Some of them don't have fathers, and I'm raising them by myself, or they have fathers that were abusive people, and I cannot allow them in my space anymore. Yeah, I didn't have parents. I didn't have a mother to tell me, no, don't date this guy because his behavior is all red flag. I had to learn on my own, and I had to learn the hard way, and I don't want that for my daughters. I keep a clean house because that's what I was taught. If nobody ever required me to keep my room clean, to keep the house clean, to do my own laundry, to learn how to cook, I would not know how to do it for my children right now. I would be like some of these girls. I done been in some houses. The house is so disgusting. And these women got husbands, and their house is disgusting. Their car, I done got in a car just recently. The car is disgusting. And they think it's normal. Y'all think it's normal to raise your daughters, not to be responsible caregivers. No, I don't think that my daughter should be servant of everybody. That's who I am. Because I'm so lonely and so desperate for love and affection that I naturally just love on everybody around me. If I could build my own family, if I could give myself a cousin, a auntie, just one person that is unconditionally loves me, I would. But it's not that. So I choose to unconditionally love other people. And that makes me, sometimes I get pushed over and taken advantage of. I don't want my daughter to be like me, per se. It makes me happy to see other people happy. But I certainly do not want her to be selfish and mean either.
Now, one thing that stood out to me throughout this whole situation was the fact that the daughter felt comfortable to talk to her mama like that. I mean, this is how you raising your child, ma'am. Because ain't no way. I'm not even talking about the fact that she needed some help, okay? Because I'm not about to sit here and pretend like I don't ask my son, hey, son, can you grab that for me? Or can you do this for me real quick? Because we all do. It takes a village. Hell, even my husband, hey, can you get the groceries out? I mean, it's not the same thing, but come on now. So I'm not even speaking on that. I'm speaking on the tone and how entitled this young lady is. And unfortunately, Mom, this is what you created. You did create a monster. If she talking to you like that, child, couldn't be me. Anyway, y'all let me know how you feel about the comments. Do you feel like the lady before her who
talked about this was too harsh on her? Do you feel like the sisterhood has failed her and not protecting this woman? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Do you think it's okay for her to ask her daughter to do that? She claims it's not often. And she looks like she's a nurse. I don't know if she's a nurse, but if she's a nurse, she barely be at home anyway. So I don't know what's going on with her life, where her support is at, how she can work and have all them kids. It's just so many questions. But this is what I will say. It didn't turn out how she wanted to. A lot of people are coming after her based on the choices she made. She shouldn't have put this video out. If you don't know for certain, I'm assuming that she felt like she was in the right by posting this video, but got to be more careful. Y'all leave the comments below. Let me know what y'all think about this.
We in a no hyena zone. Anti-hyena zone.